Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing my March wrap up. March felt like the longest month ever. I'm happy it's over, but you know. So let me give you some stats on this month. So I completed 10 books, which is the most I've ever read in any month. So I'm super excited about that. I DNF'd 2 books. And then I have 3 books that I was like kind of reading, but it wasn't like my main priority, so I'll talk about those briefly. But here are all the books that I read in my stats. My page count is 2,728. So that's pretty darn good. I read 5 ebooks and 5 physical books. I had 2 5 stars, 2 4.5 stars, 3 4 stars, 1 3.5 star, and 2 3 stars. So, not a bad reading month. For male versus female authors, I read 6 female authors and 4 male authors. So yeah, let's just jump into the books. The first books felt like such a long time ago, but okay, so should I step over here? I'm gonna step over here. The first book I read this month was Top Secret by Serena Bowen. This book I gave 5 stars. This book was so good. So it's about these 2 frat brothers, and they are talking to each other on this app, but they don't know it's each other. And then until it's too late and they start having feelings, but it's funny because in real life, without even, knowing each other, they're both running for president of the frat house. So oh my goodness, it was so good. It was so good. Let's see what I said. I said it was such a good romance. I cared for the characters. Mostly it made me feel warm inside. This book had a lot of serious topics, but it had a lot of cutesy moments too. The next book I read was Hating You by J.L. Beck and C. Hallman. This is a bully romance, and after reading this, I know that these books are just not for me. I gave this book 3 stars, which I kind of want to bump down because I keep thinking about how bad it was. So this is a bully romance between this girl and this guy, and this girl, I don't even remember her name, but she went to college where this guy is going to, and she did something to his family, so now he's like gonna make her life a nightmare and all this stuff, but then it ends up falling in love with each other. I don't know. It was not for me. The line between consensual and non-consensual sex was very, very thin. At the beginning, I didn't even know, but at the end, it was consensual, so that made me a little uncomfy, not knowing. It's just not for me. I am not a bully romance type of gal. The next book I read was Lock and Key 2, and I think that one was called Head Games, by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. This book I did not enjoy. I know. I gave this book 3 stars. I didn't enjoy it. It took me a while to get through. And the only note I have for this was not as good as the first one. And that's all I'm going to say about that. The next book I read was Scythe by Neal Shusterman. I finally jumped on the bandwagon this month, and I'm so glad I did. I gave this book 4.5 stars. This book was so good. So if you don't know, this book takes place in a world, like an alternate universe, where we have conquered death. Like, you can't die, so they have these scythes going around killing people, but they call it gleaning. And so these two characters, what are their names? I already forgot their names. Citra and Rowan are picked to be apprentices to the scythes, and it's just so good. It's so good. I recently just got the second book, and I'm so excited to read that. In the notes I said, I love the world and the characters. Mostly, I love how it makes you think. I can't wait to get my hands on book 2. This world really does make you think, and it's just amazing. Okay, the next book I read was The Gravity of Us by Brittany C. Cherry. I gave this book 5 stars. I read it in one night. I started it at like 9 o'clock one evening, and I stayed up till like 2:30 in the morning, and I read the whole thing. Oh my goodness, it was so good. I really don't know what to say about this book without spoiling it, but it's a forbidden romance, and it's a slow burn, and it's heartbreaking, and it's so good, and I recommend it to everyone. Read it. So in my notes, I said this book gave me butterflies like no other. 10 out of 10 for character development. I loved everything about this. So in the beginning, our main character, the male main character, is Graham, and he's very, like, protected. Like, he's very, like, mean and, like, just comes off, like, he gives that vibe, you know what I'm saying? But throughout the whole book, you see him, like, sort of break down his walls, and I love that. I love that. He just deserves everything, and I love both of these characters, and I suggest you go pick it up. Okay. The next book I read was Pug Me Secretly by Odette Stone. I gave this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. This is a hockey romance. This book is about this girl, and she's on a plane, and she's seated next to this guy, and then the plane's crashing. So she, like, tells him everything, and she tells him that she's never had an orgasm before. So he says if they survive the plane crash, then he'll give her one, and they survive, and he gives her one, and then he just kind of disappears. So then she goes home, and her dad owns the hockey arena and, like, the hockey team and everything, and turns out he just got traded to that team, which makes it really awkward. So in my notes, I said this was a slow burn, but it was so good, and I loved all the characters and their stories. Both of the characters, I think, have, well, no, mostly just the guy, has, like, a really bad past, and I really loved how it slowly, like, unraveled. It was really good. The next book I read was An Unlikely Warrior, a Jewish Soldier in Hitler's Army by Georg Rauch. That's how the audiobook guy said it, Georg. I tabbed this book up a little bit. So by reading all of the reviews on Goodreads, they said that the title was very misleading, so I just want to tell you guys right now, he is 1/4 Jewish. And he let everyone know everywhere he went that he was Jewish, but they still let him into the army. So in the beginning of this book, I really could not connect to this character. Maybe it's just the writing style. I wasn't sure because I was listening to the audiobook while reading this, and maybe it was the audiobook guy, I don't know, but in the beginning he just, like, described himself in the war and just, like, eating these full course meals, and I'm like, you know what happens on the other side of the war and what the Nazis are doing, so I really did not like that, but it's what happened. But at the last half of the book, he becomes a prisoner of war in Russia, and so the tables kind of turned on him, and I really like that. Is that bad to say? I feel like that made him more interesting. I feel like these are so bad. I'm so sorry, but it's just what I thought, and I really liked the last half of the book more than the first half, so yes. The next book I read was Lock and Key 3, and this one is The Crown of Shadows by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. This book, I love this one. Oh my goodness, I love this one. I gave it 4 stars. In my notes, I said much better, love where the story is going, and can't wait to find out what happens next. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. This book was amazing, and if you guys have not, I'm sorry, I'm, like, everywhere. I have horrible balance. And if you guys have not picked up this series, I highly recommend it. The graphics are took a little getting used to. Let me show you. So they are a little weird, but I really enjoyed this one. This one might be my favorite one. I don't know. This one was so good. The next book I completed was A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallero, and this is a Sherlock Holmes retelling. So it's I gotta get this right, the great-great-great-grandchildren of Sherlock Holmes and Watson. What's his first name? I forget his first name. And so they are both sent to a boarding school in America, and they are framed for murder, so they actually have to, like, unravel this mystery, and I really liked it. I thought they were in college the whole book until, like, the last 10 pages. So they're actually 16 years old, which made it a little weird, but it's okay. I read this book in, like, 2 days, 1 day. I don't really remember. It was nothing special. I gave this book 3.5 stars. It was good, The ending didn't shock me, which it's a YA. I didn't expect it to. But I really like the characters. I really like Jamie Watson. I don't know if I'm going to continue on with this series, but yeah, this was a book. And the last book I read this month was A Hitman's Desire, a Mafia Romance, Book 1 by T. Still. And I love this book. I gave it 4.5 stars. This book was so good. So it is a mafia romance. And so the daughter of the mob boss falls in love with the assassin. And I really liked it. Really big forbidden romance. So in my notes, I'll put it over here. I said, intense fighting scenes, 10 out of 10. I love John and the way him and Ruby care for each other. Cute and steamy. So I really liked it. If you're looking for like a nice read that's really good, I suggest picking this one up. So those are all the books I completed this month. Let me talk about my DNFs and the ones I did not finish. The first book I DNF'd was All Eyes on Us by Kit Frick. This is a YA thriller, and it's about this girl who keeps getting like anonymous texts about her boyfriend who's cheating on her, and she knows her boyfriend's cheating on her, and that's all I know. I read 60 pages before DNFing it, and I didn't care that her boyfriend was cheating on her. That sounds bad, but I really didn't. So yeah. The other book I DNF'd was Life as We Know It. I don't remember the author's name, but this book is about how there is an asteroid coming for Earth, but it missed Earth and hit the moon, and it moved the moon closer. So now like everything in the world's going wrong, like the tides are going, so there's like tsunamis and earthquakes, and because of the gravitational pull, there's like volcanoes. I DNF'd this at a little over 100 pages. It is told from the diary of our main character, Miranda, that's her name. And it was really freaky because it's like kind of what's going on now, not like the whole tsunamis and everything, but like how they're handling that situation is how similar to how we're handling our situation. And so that part kind of freaked me out, but as the story kept continuing, it was just like the same thing, and I really didn't care. So yeah. Now, the 3 books I did not finish this month. The first one was Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix. I got 570 pages in, and I didn't finish it, mostly because my audiobook for this ran out, and I don't know if I want to read it physically. I mean, I know I have to now, but it's just taking me a minute to work up to it. The next book I did not finish was After We Fell by Anna Todd. I've been reading this book since August. That's kind of sad, but I started picking it up like at nighttime this month, and so this month I actually read like 50 pages. Oh, my DNFs and the books I didn't finish are not included in the stats at all. I didn't know if I should include them or not. Let me know if that's cheating or not. I don't know. So I did read a bit of this, and I really enjoy it, but you have to take it in small doses because these characters are just so problematic. But I still love them. What does that say about me? The last book I did not finish this month was The Fourth Lock and Key. I don't know what that one's called. But yeah, that's about it. So those are all the books in March, this very, very long month. But today is actually the start of the Owls Readathon, so if you guys want to see my vlogs, I am vlogging for that. Make sure to subscribe, turn on the little bell so you know when I post. But I hope you guys are having a fantastic day despite everything that's going on, and I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.